Hey guys, Ballatw here, and today we're going to be taking a look at Illest, one of the controller players who's on the rise. Everybody is starting to clamor and say that Illest is one of the better controller players. He's at the top of everybody's tier list, aside from Reet, who seems like a special different beast. In any case, we're going to be trying to answer two questions today. The reason for that is I want to get a little bit more narrative based, and I want to, make a couple more bold statements in general with my VOD reviews while staying educational. So the two questions is, why all of a sudden is everybody so hyped on Illest? And also, why does he fit so well with Clix and Bizzle? Because everybody was, Bizzle, Dubs, and Mega. It was such a, promising trio. Clix as well, not able to find so many spots. But all of a sudden, we find the keys here, and this trio is clicking. They are clicking very well. So that's the questions we're going to be trying to answer. I do want to shout out Coach Lau or Launders from the CSGO scene, if you guys are familiar with him, because he's also going on this narrative search, I would say, and he's kind of inspired me to fix the issues that I've been having so long with my VOD reviews, and the fact that we're not able to make any of these bold claims. We're not able to do anything aside from, the tips and tricks, the educational stuff that we learn. Check them out if you're interested in CSGO. And yeah, don't forget also to like and subscribe this video while we get into it and answer the question, why does Illest fit so well with Clix and Bizzle? Let's do it. Okay, so first thing I want to point out about their Sweaty Sands drop is that there's two teams here. Bus was coming from the left side of the map, so they actually end up pushing and making this very, very difficult for this team to get too much. All they get is the garage and also hotel, which is not bad for them, but I did want to point out how they do this. And then also from Illest's perspective, one little thing that he does, lands on the AR and still tries to take shots. Usually it's the other guys taking shots, but since Bus was over here, it was a little better for them. And one thing that he does is when he goes for the shot, he stays really, really close to the back edge of the building. Doesn't get any damage, but as soon as this guy kind of turns around, he's very quick to drop off, which is important. So little tip there, landing anywhere that you're shooting up against. Okay, so they do end up engaging on the other team that lands here as they try to get some extra little loot. I'd say they're probably even in terms of the amount of different chests that they can get and the amount of loot, especially now that Illest has gotten that kill. One thing that he's really good at is getting these flanks, taking advantage of positioning, which I don't necessarily think that we have a lot of other controller players super doing that, while still having the, high tier skills and piece control and all that other stuff that others do. But in any case, forces them close together. And I think the really, really nice thing about Illest is that he's not afraid to take the front line, and that allows Bizzle, that allows Clix to get a little bit more space. And you can see he's actually, when he builds up against them, he's connecting a lot, making it very difficult for these guys to actually break through and force any mistakes out. Meanwhile, Clix is still with him, coming right over. Clix wants to get involved in the fight, but Bizzle, down way in the flank, doesn't actually really affect this fight because Bizzle's a little bit too late, but he can come in straight through there because of how much attention Illest and Clix are able to get through the front line. I find that really, really nice. One thing that's really nice about this trio is that they have the confidence in Illest to kind of free roam and look for opportunities in the areas that they're trying to hunt for. On the backside of this, see, he's by himself. Look how far away Clix and Bizzle are. They do have a car, so they'll get here really, really close, but Illest is able to hang on against a full trio just because of a couple things while he builds forward. See how he's structuring this a little bit more? It's like the double layer ramps and beaks and stuff, but he does this all the time, and that buys him the time because they can't reset him to do anything. He's able to hold height for quite a while, and then when they end up getting forced into these awkward situations where Illest will get into a box with somebody, he'll make sure that, these guys pay with 170 pumps, and then he can hang on. Clix and Bizzle are now here, and they are able to go from there. The fight ends up ending with a nice pinch after they kind of regroup, but they were already, against only two rather than just one, and it's pretty easy to clean up from there. But Illest's open, where he bought a lot of time, was able to take one out because they forced a mistake, jumping on a solo. They're like, we're gonna quick pinch him and whatnot, but Illest is able to structure, make it difficult for everybody to really get involved in that fight and close things out. I think that trust that Bizzle and Clix can have on Illest roaming makes this very, very dangerous. Okay, so I want to point out basically how Illest is able to take advantage of, I don't know who calls this, I'm going to assume Bizzle, this trio's superior positional ideas and things that they work out from there. Right here, they're based up kind of low ground. They've got the hill on their backside, but things are going to get kind of congested as they're right on the edge and people come up above them. What I want to point out as they finish this spray, they do get him. That's Clix. A team comes above them. This guy's right here. And because of that, Bizzle actually tarps out. You can see him doing it right now. He tarps out way, way, way more away from the guys above them so that, you know, if they need to engage in any sort of anything, they can be away from them. All this extra space right here, Illest knows how to kind of control and work from it to find themselves elims down the line. He actually comes through the tarp that Bizzle made to find a kill later on. Let's watch that. Okay, so those original guys that they tarped away from, now they're going to try to, you know, attack them from the bottom side. They have a lot of space to make this work, try to crash pad it down, but see that other team that's actually firing upon them. They have so much space over there, and Illest is able to take a huge advantage of it later on, because this doesn't work. Almost does. They get a couple beams through, but not all the way. And then as this is happening, basically, Illest goes back through that old tarp, finds another angle to actually be able to challenge the team who's kind of by themselves out in the open. He ends up finding themselves to focus fire, especially with the snipe that happens, gets a kill, and then we'll also get the opportunity to go for this with this extra space that Bizzle and Clix got them earlier with that extra tunnel. So Illest is able to take, you know, autonomous advantage of these positional gains that they're making throughout the rest of the game. And here he goes. The guys are trying to pick up his teammate. He ends up tunneling it over, and he'll quickly finish both of them by himself, by the way. Bizzle finally comes through, but you can tell that that was his decision to kind of go for this play. Right, here's an example of him really caring about his teammate's life in a lot of different instances. He's kind of Bizzle's obviously trying to tarp ahead. Clix is also looking for opportunities. They both have that freedom, but there's never that situation where, you know, a guy's like, oh, I got somebody in a box, and Illest is not there for him. So as Clix is in trouble, Illest comes back. Clix does what he does and kills the guy anyways, but it's kind of in the middle of both of them, still looking for these ideas, these opportunities. Also want to point out how this pepper kind of allows him to kind of swing between both sides. In any case, this is a nice safety factor as well. This guy gets in, insta cone, and insta take out. Bizzle's right on top of him. He's focused though, and they're able to target fire. Illest will do the most of it. Now they move back, and this entire time he's looking for these extra opportunities while still trying to keep both sides safe. He's looking at Bizzle. He's looking at Illest. He's actually looking at his teammates to make sure he knows what they're doing and finds opportunities because of it. Here's another impact. This guy's already knocked, but they don't finish, so he gets that one, and then he has the floor control. This guy falls in, and Clix is there now with him to be able to take that fight. I don't even think there's much more to say about this. This guy gets stuck in the box. His teammate comes into the box afterwards, but Illest has taken the wall and gotten them both down. It lags out, but in any case, I think that's all I wanted to show in the rest of this game. They go on a win with, what is it, like 20-something kills in either case. Let's move on to the next game. Okay, so another semifinals game, and they end up going Sweaty Sands uncontested. So there's not too much to learn in the early game, but I do want to kind of talk about the philosophy for them. And the idea always, especially when they end up getting some sort of zone favor, it's not too far on the edge, is actually push these guys. And as we see the zone reveal, well, think about the timing for that. And the idea is that these guys have complete shambles loot on this spot right here. Holly Hedges is keeping them out. Sweaty Sands is keeping them out. So they're locked to castle. They're locked to these little spots on the road. And Sweaty Sands will just have much, much, much better loot. Once again, while Clix and Bizzle are a little bit more paired together, Illest has more free roaming abilities. He's the guy who's kind of clearing out castle as they try to chase down this team that's over here. They spot him. Now he's kind of behind, obviously, but a nice wide pre-fight stance. Clix is all the way on the right. He's going to be the opener right now. He's going to be the guy taking the front line, trying to do what Illest did in that last fight that we watched in Holly Hedges. But this works really nice. There's one guy to the right, so it's kind of awkward for them because their wide stance still didn't even work. This one guy over here, they will pounce on him. Clix already has the idea. He's going to shockwave right on top of him, and Illest wants to get involved too. The fact that he's so far away gives them the opportunity to go for this. Clix ends up getting knocked, but Illest, the timing is right there, so it's not a big deal. Now what do they have to do? Hang on until the rest of these guys come and give Bizzle the space to make sure you can get the revive off on Clix. He actually has to drop it, and they will get that finish anyways. But still maintaining that position, still maintaining that space, and also sees, you know, the importance of him staying alive, gets away from that guy, builds a big brick base while Bizzle starts to try. Actually, he might even pick him up. In any case, Because he goes away, now these guys switch focus. He gets the time. Bizzle will now buy time, and Illest will come back up with the opportunity really to punish their mistakes now. So we've actually talked about Illest kind of opening these fights a lot. One thing that's really nice about him too, though, is that when we need to finish fights, he is able to close them out really fast. He's one of the fastest fight closers in solos, and that does transition into trios as well. Obviously, it's a longer engagement overall with 3 versus 3s, but when it does get to these situations where he needs to get into a box, he needs to hit the AR follow-ups with his pump, it's simple. Okay, I wanted to show one more fight in the finals, actually, and how Illest is able to contribute so well towards it. And it'll also kind of tie into an idea I have for a video later where we talk about the Sweaty Sands teams and how well they're conditioning the rest of the map, especially towards the coastal areas. But in any case, we'll leave that for another video. Let's move into that fight. Here we go. Achieving similar timing to what we saw in the semifinals, maybe slightly slower because they did end up going for upgrades. Clix has a purple pump, so does Illest. And they're getting right on top of the team on the backside. This is Tahi, Sprite, and Gabe. And right on top of them they go. One thing that they do is quickly push into this fight and force these guys to kind of back away because they don't want to fight because it's first game. In any case, see how they push. Illest is in the back. Not what we're super used to seeing, but it's because Clix ended up having that car and they wanted to hit the timing once again. They'll take high ground over them. These guys will try to disengage off the right side. But because he kind of plays in that anchor spot, he's able to go right back to the back and in reality be the opener once again over the top of this hill, right where Sprite is. And they don't really know that because they've gone through in space. Since Bizzle pushed over, he's off the side. Clix is still in the middle and Illest is about to open. Clix will be able to get a wide stance again onto Sprite from the side. The funny part is they have no clue because this is where they came through. In any case, he builds to open. It's not crazy, but he stops them from getting any sort of better stance. Now look at the way that they're coming through. Bizzle once again coming over the side. Clix right behind Illest. And I love this idea right here, right? So they want to basically go on to the person behind them rather than go on these two. But what Illest does is blocks Sprite off from his teammates. So Bizzle coming in from the backside. I got the names wrong earlier. Illest coming in from that front side. Sprite is now in a pinch and they have to break through what Illest just built. Understanding these fundamentals in trio is so important. In trios is so important. Bizzle is somebody who will go for these advantages a lot. Illest clearly understands them greatly. Find themselves an easy pickup on the Sprite. He traded a little bit. So his goal right now is to kind of get away so that he doesn't get fully traded out while Clix is still holding on to the 1v1 against Tahi. The way that the mobility kind of works in these fights is I liken it a little bit to like basketball cuts, right? Where you slide through the paint, for example, to try to find an opportunity. The opportunity in Fortnite is a pinch. If you can find some sort of squeeze on somebody, then it works really nicely. But they do this with shockwaves over and over and over because it shakes up the position a little bit and forces awkward situations where either two people are on either side of one person or not. The two main things were how Illest understands that positional game in these fights. That allows Bizzle to really work efficiently and then allows Clix to be a little bit more full free reign. And then also how he understands the survivability, right? Every time that he was in a position where he might get put down, he's either using a crash pad to get away or just, you know, moving away and slowing down in the fight. When he traded with Gabe there, he boxed up, did not participate too much until afterwards. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys liked that. I think the answers to the question are a couple different reasons, right? Illest really complements Bizzle nicely, I think, in a more quiet way, right? Illest is a little bit shyer than maybe a Dubs, maybe a Mega from that older trio. But he's still thinking on a level that Bizzle is there with him, which is really nice. And then it also allows Clix some freedom. The other cool thing is that, you know, thinking about the players that Bizzle has coached, Clix, Sway, Reets, those kinds of guys, Illest is like a package between Bizzle's brain and those controller players like Sway and like Reet, whereas Clix is Clix. Anyways, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll be back with more content just like this. Peace.